Hello, this is Autumn. I'm going to be talking about making data more approachable for my final project. First of all, we're going to go ahead and take a first look at where to get our data. Scraper Wiki was used for me. I did trends in suicide rates, and Scraper Wiki is where I found my data. Scraper Wiki allows you to find data all throughout the internet to help you as one person put that data together and maybe in an Excel file in order to get data from everywhere. Now, what do you do when you have all this data? You also have Google Fusion, which will help you find data as well. This data might seem overwhelming and over the top, just with how maybe disorganized it is, things are not labeled. Well, there's help for that, and that's Google Refine. Google Refine allows you to upload Excel files, CSV files, anything you'd like in order to make those scrapers into something that can relate or communicate to audiences. So Google Refine was used for me in order to make the data I found more understanding instead of a bunch of numbers. Also, Google tables were used to make different kinds of maps. People love visuals, and visuals communicate more than just numbers on a piece of paper. They also convey a lot more meaning. My trends in suicides, we can see here that the more asterisks here and the bubbles means more or higher suicide rates. Now we can see there's a clunk of them in Europe and a few scattered throughout the world. This can conclude to us and audiences that more suicides occur in Europe. Also, with Google Fusion, I used a bar graph with a couple different countries going over the span of 1995 to 2009, and with our different colored coordinates we can see exactly on a line specifically these countries, where they've started and where they've ended up over the past 10-15 years or so. We can tell from this graph that Austria stayed at a pretty stable rate in suicide trends, whereas Korea, hit a spike in 1995, hit another spike in 2003, dropped a bit in 2006, and went head up for the running in 2009. Another graph also the same to portray the same idea about trends in suicides through different countries. We have different icons to represent different countries. We have triangles representing Japan, we have diamonds representing Austria, and squares representing Korea. And once again we can see the same idea as in the last graph. Around 2005 here we can see a little bit of a spike in Korea and continually going up near 2009-2010. We see that Japan stays pretty steady and Austria is consistently going down. Once again, this is just a few different ways you can portray information that seemed messy at first from your website scrapers and be able to translate them with Google Refine and Google Fusion tables in order to make them more communicative to audiences. And once again, these graphs give people something to look at, and they give them different perspectives. Not everybody learns the same or understands statistics the same way, and by using these programs, people can understand and visually grasp things different ways. GeoGraph and Google Earth are also two great programs that help enhance presentations, especially to show statistics. Here, this Google Earth was used in my project. I focused in on the state of Ohio and the suicide trends in the state of Ohio. GE graph was used to make these bar graphs in Google Earth to portray the statistics of the trends in suicide rates. We see in this graph that the cities of Cincinnati, Columbus, and Cleveland have much higher bar graphs because the trends of suicide rates are much higher than little places throughout the state. Without GE graph, we wouldn't be able to visually enhance Google Earth. I could have just given a map of Ohio and pointed out where the trends were higher and where they weren't. But GE graph allows us to combine with Google Earth and show us where and how much. SketchUp also helps as well. SketchUp is a program that offers the ability to create symbols and things relatable to people like you and me to put into your Google Earth graph. And say you wanted to put a building or an object or a symbol, you would be allowed to do that in SketchUp to make it more relatable and understanding to in Google Earth. Finally, Prezi. This is a Prezi presentation. As you can see, it is very more dynamic than PowerPoint. It makes slides a little more interesting, a little more captivating to the eye for general audiences. And it allows you to create all your information and put it into one spot so it can create an interesting learning time for your audience. Thank you so much.